what I've learned about trail building is there's two groups in the outdoors, two groups of recreation folks that'll build their own facilities: mountain bikers and rock climbers. Climbing, the wall's already there, but they build in the protection to make it safe. Mountain bikers want to ride anywhere, and they will build their own trail. You don't see golfers making golf courses, or tennis players building tennis courts, or basketball players building gyms. It just doesn't happen.
It's kind of supported right now in almost a rogue method. You know, you can say you've got swimmers that like to swim, but they don't build their own swimming pools. People like to play tennis, they don't build their own tennis courts. Mountain bikers will build the facilities that they enjoy, you know.
When I ride on a trail that was obviously not built by someone who mountain bikes, it's not the same. It really doesn't, you know, it's nowhere near the experience that a trail. I can go to another state and I can start riding a trail and I know immediately if mountain bikers build it or not.
I think it is generally just a group of like-minded guys that kind of get together and just kind of use their creativity and go for it, kind of in the area that they're living in. You know, people like to have a trail near them, so I think as far as the culture goes, I think it's generally just groups of buddies that get together and say, let's do this.
Mark Sanchez, aka Mike Morales, and I, we met. Our sons were in Cub Scouts together, and we were down here cleaning up the creek one day with all the kids, and you know, he was wearing a Mavic hat, I was wearing some Fox t-shirt or something, and we struck up a conversation, and we were talking about the area, and we both agreed that there needed to be some trail down here. And I think the next weekend we decided to meet down here and scout things out, and we did a little bit of cutting, a little bit of raking, just kind of decided where we would start, and it took off from there.
The guy gave us the key to the land. There was no trail here, no nothing. We didn't have anything to ride, so we built it. And as far as I know, it's some of the hardest trail anywhere I've ever ridden. And we have a festival every year, at least, minimum, so people can come and enjoy it. But if you're gonna come here, definitely bring your A game.
Well, I'd been coming to Pace Bend Park since I was a kid, since I grew up in Austin, and it was always a lake park. But when I built a house out here and started my family, birth of our first child, I a little farther away from all the trails in town, and I got to thinking, Pace Bend, huh? So I came out and visited and looked around, and there were some old trails here, Jeep roads, ranch roads, and I asked the park if I could clean them up just with hand tools. And they said sure, and so they started letting me in at no charge, and I cleaned up what was here, and then the wheels started spinning about connecting up this section to that and actually having something fun to ride.
Well, it did boil down to the little neighborhood park that some guys were digging at, and I noticed it was going on, and I just wanted to be part of it. It's in my neighborhood. These guys are putting in some time. I want to put in some time with you. We noticed neighborhood moms coming out there during the daytime, enjoying it with the kids that were too young for school. We noticed a lot of people were using it, enjoying it. They were thanking us for that opportunity. Again, they were getting to experience something they had never experienced before, and they wanted to do more of it.
There was this sign-up sheet for a trail building day with REI at Wild Basin Preserve, and there was a cute girl signing up, and I thought, well, I should sign up for that. So I did, and so that's how I got into it. And then I later on got involved with the Ridge Riders and some of the work they were doing out at Reimers Ranch and Walnut Creek Park, and later on got more and more involved and learned a lot from Mark Henneke and from the IMBA trail building schools.
I mean, when I found this trail, I was so excited. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It's a real trail, and it wasn't built yet, but you know, you go to the end and you'd find the tools where they left their tools, you know, and you're like, let's go see where the tools are this week, because they're always moving, you know. And it was just the most awesome thing to see those guys do that. And then I got to know them and got to start helping them a little bit with it, you know, here and there.
Bike parks. Always had a great time on the trails in Austin, but during the summers, you know, being able to go to places like Whistler, Trestle, Angel Fire, and just seeing the variety of features, you know, coming back, everybody would be like, how come we can't have that stuff here? And eventually I just got to be like, yeah, why can't we have that stuff here?
Yeah, I think there's a personality of a lot of the people that are really into trail building. There's a little bit of obsessive compulsive, perhaps perfectionist personality trait that you just want to see something done and you want to see it through. And so it does take a commitment.
When I got to Texas, I had to build a pump track in my backyard. That started out as, you know, many dump trucks full of dirt, and 9 guys put all their efforts together, and we made that pump track complete with stunts, wall rides, curved wall ride. From there, it branched out into 6-foot-high skinnies, about 12 inches wide, with a full-on drop. But we didn't stop there. We spread out into the woods and made an 8-pack complete with a rocket launcher. From there, it grew out into a thing we call the bucket trail, which is a steep with multiple drops. But just like any trail we've ever built, sure enough, the bucket trail disappeared. From there, we turned our attention to Reveille Peak Ranch and built that pump track along with the Super D. So it was all about building.
There's a lot of creativity to our sport. I'll go back to the basketball. I mean, a basketball court has fixed dimensions. The goal's always 10 feet high. On a mountain bike trail, there's more variety to it. I can ride over here and you can ride a little this way, and I'll jump off the ledge and somebody else may roll it. So the creativity of that, you let the participants build what they want.
You know, we wanted to find unique oak groves and rocks and G-outs, and we wanted to have views, and we wanted features to ride too. We didn't want to just have a trail just to ride. We wanted it to be interesting trail. We wanted it to be technical trail. We wanted it to flow as well.
Letting people be part of the process, like you come up to an area and you get the group's input. What do you think we should do with this feature? Should we make it more or less technical? Should we have an alternate line? You know, where should it be? Letting people have some input in the process.
You know, wall rides, kickers, step downs, gap jumps, skinnies, teeter-totters. I mean, we just went crazy out there.
The first day we just said, we're going to cut, we're going to start. And then we backed up and said, you know what, let's plan this out. And I would spend hours out there. I had kind of an uncanny knack for knowing where I am and how to get around out there. So I could find a rock or a tree grove and we could build to it. And I got a pretty good lay of the land and sketched out what we were going to do in Google Earth and thought, hey, we're going to get like 3 or 4 miles out here, man. It's not going to have much elevation. It'll probably be a lot like Walnut. That's what our thought was early on.
The downside of that creativity is there's open land everywhere. And in Texas, it may be private or public land, but not everybody knows even some general principles.
I think we did a fairly decent job of milking the area for what it was, and tried to keep it interesting, try to make it flow, but also be technical as well. And kind of a paradox there with some of the trail out here. You can see that some of it doesn't really flow because we were mistaking tight switchbacks and tree gates for technical trail. Because we didn't know we were going to get into, you know, the real tech past the big swag drop. You know, we didn't know we were going to start getting into big drops and big G-outs and that sort of thing. So we felt like we had to create technical trail by keeping it real tight in certain places, making it spaghetti around a little bit more than maybe it needed to.
Being the first guy to ride it, you're not always sure that you built it right. You kind of hope, but you know, you don't know if you've gotten the speeds right, if the lip is shaped correctly, if the distance is right, and things don't always go as planned. So it definitely keeps the adrenaline pumping.
There's a wide variety of people involved in trail building, and there's a wide variety of land manager attitudes and ways of managing trail building. And so, you know, we're quickly probably going through all the low-hanging fruit there is, all the really cooperative land managers with large acreage tracts. And we're going to pick the low-hanging fruit first. So Pedernales was over 5,000 acres. This place is around 1,000 acres. Lots of land, a land manager that is open and willing to have trail built. Eventually we're going to run out of those, and we're going to run into more of the land managers that might not necessarily want us there.
Really, I think the biggest challenge that most builders face is finding the land to do it, honestly. I mean, you've got so much development in this city that there's not large pockets of land that's readily that you're able to go out and just build on, unless you do it sort of rogue. But you know, I think that that land access would have to be number one.
And then there's a whole nother aspect of the trail building community, which is doing unauthorized trail building, usually on tracts of land that are either private or public, but not authorized. And so there's a full spectrum of trail building activity going on. Obviously, my preference is to do it the legitimate way. I've been involved in legitimate trail work or authorized trail work for the entire time I've been doing it.
What's the difference in what we're doing and that beaten path over there? You know, that beaten path isn't authorized. Granted, they didn't come out here with saws and shovels and McLeods and rogue hose to build that, but still, it's you know, it's a beaten path.
You have to have support from the land managers. And the problem is a lot of these land managers, their idea of recreation is going to be different than what a lot of other people's idea of recreation is. When they think of mountain biking, a lot of folks think of a rogue daredevil.
Bring your biggest balls and your best bike, because you're going to need it. And rock and roll, Rough Rider style. Woohoo!
They think of some life and limb endangering activity.
To just come and enjoy the terrors, donate some blood.
They don't realize really it's an activity that promotes the conservation of nature.
Does litter matter to whether or not you can ride a trail? No, but it's the whole experience of that trail. And so most people who are conscientious about it's more than just the ride. We don't want to ride in the middle of a dump. We want to ride in a nice, natural environment. At least I care about that, and I know a lot of other people do. So.
I mean, I do see that you know, the city and counties are receptive to talking with people like Dimitri, for instance, who do go to them and you know, start these conversations about support with them. I mean, I think that is probably where the future lies, is getting them on board and saying, yeah, this is a cool thing. And again, like has been mentioned already today, this is the kind of thing that a lot of times the users do the building, you know, and that's a really good point, is that, you know, the city doesn't really have to bring a lot to the table other than to kind of okay it. But I think that those talks are really where it's at. That's the step that has to happen to make it continue, and you know, and not have trails get shut down, and you know, and just the land access itself.
I don't want all my hard work to be done away with. There's dirt jumps that have been put in on City of Austin property that got bladed down right out, and I know that's a ton of work. There's trail that got fenced off. There's plenty of examples. There's trail that got a neighborhood built on top of it. Well, I would hate to put something I care about and put all this work into suddenly just go away.
Deception proper was pretty much built. So we had our 6-mile Deception trail built. And then we crossed over the double track. And we'd probably gotten maybe a half-mile into that double track. And we showed up one day, or Josh showed up one day, and there was a note in a little baggie: contact us as soon as possible, Williamson County Parks Director. And it was his email address and his phone number and his name, Randy Bell, on there. So I immediately got on Facebook, because I was part of some running groups and a couple different mountain biking groups. And I said, hey, here's a guy's phone number and name that you need to contact, and let him know you love these trails out at Brushy Creek.
People use the word sustainability a lot, and to me that doesn't mean is the trail surface going to hold up. It means is the trail in general going to be there for years to come. So if it's done right with permissions, then I know this is a sustainable trail and this will be here for my kids for years to come. And so I do have to take into consideration the trail surface and how I build the trail and where it goes up, where it goes down, where it turns, so the trail itself holds up. But I know since I've gone about it with permissions that the trail will continue to be there.
So yeah, I don't know if, you know, the trails we're building now will be here 20 years from now, 10 or even 5. I would say probably not. You know, the way we build, the riders progress, and then they're always looking to do something new. So, you know, we really kind of hope that our trails evolve with the riders. You know, we don't build stuff to be sustainable so much as we do maintainable, and we're constantly working on the features. So, you know, I mean, just look at what happened at Twin Parks. You know, we built, then rode, then tore down, then went out and built a new bike park, you know, inside of 2 years.
So a couple weeks went by and I finally called Randy Bell, the Parks and Rec director, and I told him who I was, and he asked me if I would come in and meet him. I said, sure, what's the meeting, what's the theme of the meeting? What do you want to, what is the goal of the meeting going to be? He said, first, I want to say I've had several hundred people contact me on the phone and on email. People clearly love the trail. I don't want to close it. I don't want you to go to jail. I don't want, there's nothing legal happening here. It's like, what we want to do is we want to bring you in to the county, have a discussion about what we can do to get the trail authorized. Right from the bat, they told us they wanted to keep the trail open, get an agreement with us, set some guidelines, put some rules in place, talk about what the plan is. From the very beginning, they wanted to embrace it. They really did. Was that going to be the plan from the get-go? I don't know. Did the phone calls and the emails have something to do with that? I don't know.
Those land managers, getting their buy-in is probably the biggest challenge, and getting their support, because you're providing recreation for their citizens, and that's their job. They are elected, they are paid by the constituents. They're paid a salary to provide that recreation, and you have to enlighten to them to what that is. They'll look at reports. They're going to look at skate parks. Well, what's everyone been doing? What's the easy thing to do? The easy thing is what everyone has been doing for the past 30 years. Skate parks, disc golf. That's what everyone does for outdoor recreation. So that's what they've been doing. Mountain biking is a relatively new form of outdoor recreation. It's exploding. Educating those land managers to the viability of mountain biking.
I just took one extra step and asked the county if we could do a whole entire project here. Something new, something that hadn't been done before. And they were open. They wanted sketches. We built a few, we built things one at a time and got their approval as we went along. And it grew into a section that's a lot of fun to ride with a lot of variety, from more advanced to an intermediate to a beginner.
You know, we try to build features that are fun, but we try to build trails that are also progressive for the riders, so that there's a safe path to progressing to bigger and bigger features. The reality is, in this type of riding, to progress, you're probably at some point along the way going to get hurt, but we definitely do our best to minimize those risks.
It gives me an immense amount of satisfaction to ride a trail that I knew I worked on 20 years ago, and it's still there and it's still performing. It hasn't fallen apart. So not only was it built correctly, but it was built in a situation where people enjoyed it for 20 years. I mean, that, and I have a pretty confident that for 20 more years, people I don't even know are going to be enjoying this trail. And that's a source of personal satisfaction for me.
So ideally, I envision a facility that will accommodate riders from 6 years to 60 years, but the kids that are 6 years old to 16 years in high school, I want them to dream about it while they're in school. I want them to think about, wow, I can't wait to get out of school and go ride that trail, to go ride that bike park. Because those are the guys that are going to keep moving it forward. Those are the guys that are going to be, they're going to be raised in it, they're going to be steeped in it, they're going to know, they're going to get the guys that open up Balcones Canyon land. Because we have thousands, tens of thousands of acres out there of prime real estate for outdoor recreation that is totally shut off to the public. It's public property that the public is not allowed to enjoy.
For me, it was really like with my dad. He was always going out on bike trips, and I was like, I want to get into that. And so we went out to Walnut Creek, and we saw Colin digging the pump track. So we got really into that, and I just really wanted to push myself in dirt jumping. So I've been going from there, just building jumps. I really wanted to get my friends into the sport since I was really tired of being the only kid. So I went out and found some friends who were into skateboarding, and it was pretty easy for them to make the crossover to bikes. So I taught them how to water and dig on jumps, and Walnut Creek just ended up being too far, so we started building in front yards and backyards, and we've just been going from there.
I think it's important to travel out of state with your bike. I've been flying with my bike since '01. Dale and I have gone to great lengths in packing a bike and making it the most efficient process we can make it, so we can travel out to every bike park we can get our hands on.
The wood structures came about in 2011, and that was before I'd done any traveling, any extensive traveling to the mountains and to mountain bike parks in Colorado and New Mexico. So now it's time to do a little maintenance on them, and when we do, I plan to kick it up a notch.
You know, I guess we could use more giant rampage style stuff would be cool, but I don't know how we'll do that.
What I really want to see at this new location is bigger slope style and a lot more trickable jumps, because I'm really into doing tricks and I really want to get into that because I've been seeing the stuff on TV and I think that would just be really cool.
You know, it really surprised us after we got going that we were getting a lot of people from San Antonio, from Dallas, you know, El Paso, even as far away as New Mexico. And, you know, very quickly we grew to well over 100 people. So knowing that we were able to, you know, reach out and provide something to, you know, other people who were like-minded, like the same stuff we did, but we never met, I mean, that definitely was a success. You know, what I can say today is, you know, the vast majority of my social circle today, I didn't even know 3 years ago. So that was definitely a win.
So this whole process has been an education. I didn't necessarily know what was a great trail or how to build a great trail before I started. I knew what it felt like to ride one, but I didn't understand, I didn't have all the knowledge of the properties of water, how to cut a tree properly. I have a construction background and a project management background, so that part came easy. But the community that came together to build this and to build trails in Austin, like I said, I started out doing this for personal reasons and have made some of the best friends of my life.
Not to care about me. I'm rolling, rolling, rolling in the dirt. Just my tail, I chase it all around. I chase again and I chase them out of town. Cause I'm rolling, rolling, rolling in the dirt. Na 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 na. Cause I'm rolling, rolling, yeah. Crazy dice, so don't get angry when I don't come around when you calling me. Because I'm rolling, I'm rolling, rolling in the dirt. All I got, yes, I got for free. I said I don't see no color, just equality. Because I'm rolling, while you dine. Feed me now, cause I'm your K9. Cause I'm rolling, rolling, rolling in the dirt. Let me out so I can get my own. Dig a big hole for my dog bone. Cause I'm rolling, rolling, rolling